Alright guys, today's the day. We're going to go ahead and get some assembly started on the LS for the Bronco. Alright, so if you were watching on our last video, we actually got the block painted, cleaned, and prepped, ready for me to start assembly. This is how I got the block back. It's got the main caps on it. So first thing I'm going to have to do here, I'm going to have to get these main caps pulled off and get the crank in there as well as the main bearings. And we're going to have to check some tolerances with plastic gauge. So here we go. Alright guys, so we've got the main caps out. Went through with just a little bit of brake cleaner on a shop towel, get everything cleaned up. Gonna go ahead and start putting some bearings in so we can get started on checking tolerances. So, ready to rock and roll. Here's your big one, it goes in the middle. Then you take your rest and go right on down through there. Now, other than the main cap, the rest of them are gonna have these little grooves. You're looking for that little tab right there. I'm not sure if you can see that. And that's gonna go right down in there. Lube it up. That way we can set the crank in and don't wanna turn it though. I'm just gonna lube it where the metal doesn't rub. And then we can check some tolerances. It's me. And we are not in the middle of the work day right now. Anyway, so we got the main bearings on the lowers. You got the top part. Same rules apply. You got the little indention, and that just goes right here. I'd show you, but I'm going to drop every one of these bolts out. Plastic gauge is on. We got the main cap set on, and we're going to torque them down to 15 foot-pounds. Done. We just got done with the plastic gauge. Everything's looking good. I'll go ahead and take you over here and show you. Looks like we're like 15 thou, something like that, to 2 thou. All good deal. I'll show you. Not sure if you can see that. But everything's looking good in spec here. So we're gonna go ahead and clean that off and continue through. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and lube up all of our bearings for the final assembly. Put a little lube, and when I say a little, a lot, on our crank, and go ahead and start getting ready to torque the final pass. So we're back, final pass, sorry, I keep saying final pass, assembly time. So we've checked the plastic gauge. Now we're gonna head through. I'm gonna go 15 foot-pounds on the mains, first time through. Start in and go out. Now we're going to do a little tech tip. We're going to get a paint pen. We're going to mark our bolts so we know what we've done, because now we're on our final pass and we've got to do degrees. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a paint pen and we're going to mark all our bolts. We've been through the first pass. So here we're going to do angles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark all of them like this so I can see the angle as we go. Also to know I've already done these. So the main thing is to keep up with what you've already done and you'd be ready to rock and roll. So on my fancy dancy torque wrench here, we do have an angle meter, so I'm able to just set it on 80. You don't have to do this, you could draw a line, but if you're building a couple engines, this might be worth investing in a nice digital. And we'll go in to out. So we'll start on the inner bolts to 80 degrees. Alright, so you get the gist, and we'll work our way through those center bolts. Alright, so all my inners are done, and this is what I'm talking about, guys, with the paint pen. I can just quick glance and tell that all of these are done. I stole this tip from Josh, and it's a great idea. That way you can keep up, and you don't have to wonder, ooh, did I already torque that? You know. So now we're going to hit the outside bolts at 51 degrees. And voila, main caps are torqued. So now we'll head over and do our side bolts. A lot of people aren't aware of this, but they actually do have a little RTV on them from the factory. So just a little dash RTV on them, and then torque them in to 18 foot-pounds, and then we will have our mains completed. Yeah, so what I'm going to do here is just throw a little bit right around the bolt, just to make sure we don't leak. Okay, and here is the entire bottom end, fully assembled. Next, we will head to the pistons. All right, guys, we're at the point of the assembly where you got to start getting really organized. So, what I've done, I had all my pistons and things coated down with PB Blaster because I didn't know when I was going to get to this. So, all I did is take it out of the bag, run outside, coat these things in brake cleaner, spray them off really, really good, and then wipe them down with a clean shop rag. And here's where you stay organized. So we've got this numbered 1 through 7 here on this side, passenger side. So I'm set up just like in the engine. I've got my fronts all facing forward, so I know when I pick these up which way I gotta go. So first thing we're gonna have to do here, I'm gonna have to get a ring out, and we're gonna check ring gap, make sure that looks good. This is a stock NA motor, so everything should be relatively close, but you know, it's worth checking now because it's a lot easier to fix at this point. I also had these walls coated down, so I've cleaned those out with some brake cleaner, and we're getting ready so we can start assembling. Alright, y'all, so what I'm doing here is getting the rod bearings set on. Got these little grooves. Find your groove here. Boom. Push it in. Make sure it's flush. Same thing on the actual rod. Find that little groove. Push it in. Make sure it's flush. Set them back together. This is just the way I do it. I try to keep everything really organized so I have no questions or doubts of what's going on. And I get all my bearings put on. Then I'll grease them up, and then I'll put my rings on. So we're getting pistons installed. Here we go. Okay. So I've got the fancy dancy tool to compress the rings, which if you don't have this, dude, this is a must. I know you don't want to pay for it, neither did I, but this thing, yeah, I'm not doing another engine without one of these. Just pushes right in like that. All right, go ahead and line it up. Look for the front. Just pop this bad boy right on in here. Just like so. Dead low. 1, 2, 3. And we knocked the bearing out. Just kidding, I fixed it. Alright, the key here, make sure you're lubing everything up. Bada bing, bada boom. Main cap. And you just assemble right here. I like to put them all on and then I'll go back through and torque everything. Just personal preference. It's all good to go. All right, I'm gonna hit the rod bolts, 15 degrees. This is where that paint pen comes into play, guys. So do one, mark it up with the paint pen. No guessing. All right, pistons are torqued to spec. We've done 60-degree angle, and on to the next project.
Dude, I'm gonna open the box.
Taylor has just decided to get wild and just go through all my gaskets. We're gonna go ahead and play with the rear main seal. Whoops. Hey, don't cut no gaskets. Those are expensive.
Get you a good knife, boys and girls.
Felpro sponsors us. Actually don't, because they'll probably build more engines. What we got here? Ooh, fancy.
So, what is that?
Valve seals.
Yeah, that's all your valve seals.
Don't need that.
Intake.
Here we go. Rear main.
Those.
We'll need those in a minute.
Those are valve cover. That's front main.
Oh shit, I didn't paint my valve covers.
There's for rear main.
Just all we need, ain't it?
Yeah, that's what we need. I was just gonna go through.
Where's the actual gasket?
This is it. For what gasket? The oil pan gasket?
Oh, I guess it's
no.
That's front.
No, that's rear.
This is rear.
This is front.
Okay. Well, just making sure we got everything. This is actually a really good kit. I'll probably link this part number because some of these kits are $500 and this one was $240. And it even has the valve seals. So overall, it looks like a good kit.
Yes, it's a very good kit. It's the same one that I have.
I used a different kit last time, not Felpro, and it was not great. Rear main.
It says this side out.
So that's the side that's going to go out.
That's the side that goes out.
And if you don't replace this, You will hate yourself.
Don't do it.
Ask Taylor how he knows. He broke it.
Nah, I didn't break it.
Flush.
Woo. We still got a ways to go.
And we're gonna keep working on that.
Good.
Nope.
No.
I don't remember what we did last time.
Trying to keep from
Busting the rubber.
Yep.
You should hit it with the other side. See if that.
Because I can't control it.
What's it? All right, a little assembly lube on the O-rings.
This kind of helps install, keeps them from grabbing.
This is one of the most important things that people forget.
Got to replace it.
At least replace it with a stock one.
Yeah, we actually almost forgot to replace
It's
it.
an easy.
Almost
easy
forgot
thing.
to put it in.
It's a very easy thing to forget.
It's a little bit tricky when it's on the engine stand. You got to just kind of hold your mouth right.
Ooh. Did you hear that?
And that is why we put in assembly lube on it.
Boom. Boop. She's in.
Right like that.
Boom. Ooh, the gasket even matches.
It's blue.
We special ordered that.
It's all blue.
It's a lot easier off the engine stand.
It is, but if you can do this, you can do this, boys and girls. See, look, watch, see.
I don't know why I always paint the rear cover.
Again, if you hold your mouth right, it goes in.
You can't see it.
Oh, well, you can. You just don't want to see it.
When you do see it, it's for a bad reason, usually.
Yep.
Oh,
It's all right.
there it goes. Okay.
Which you want to leave it off just a smidgen so that way you can get some RTV down in these pots right here. That's where it's known to leak from.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Taylor has been there.
This is one of the few gaskets you don't want to do. A little RTV in the corners on both sides of the gasket. Pro tip. You would rather have gasketed than not.
You also want to make sure that the rear main seal surface is is flush with this surface here.
Because your oil pan.
Because your oil pan has to be flush. It at least needs to be slightly lower if you can get it there.
Or you'll be taking this back loose. We've reached my favorite part of every build. For your Ford boys, this is an expensive part because you got to buy 4.
Yeah.
But for the Chevy boys, this is a tried and true. It's time for the cam. Boom. Now, I will be honest, this is not going to be as exciting as some previously filmed cams, but still a good time. This is the Stage 1 Summit Pro LS cam, and it's got a good lope. It sounds like a classic small block Chevy, and it runs really well. You do not have to have springs to upgrade to for this cam, so that's a plus. And you don't have to change anything like that, nothing crazy. So this is truly a drop-in cam. There's no such thing as a drop-in cam for me though, because I always have spun cam bearings. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this baby in. Time to lube it up. Go there. You can never have too much lubricant.
Especially on your cam, boys and girls.
Any sort of cam. It's so weird seeing a blue block. I can't get past it. The things we do for YouTube.
Hold on. Alright, I got it.
Uh-oh. Oh, not the sploosh. God, it sounds like Taco Bell. The aftermath.
I don't know why I don't like Taco Bell.
I always like Taco Bell till I wake up. Actually, worse than Taco Bell is Chipotle, in my opinion.
But yeah, because it's probably food poisoning.
Does you dirty. Yep. Perfect. And we didn't talk about it, but you just take a couple of your water pump bolts.
Yep.
Easy peasy. More parts.
Tiny Tank Taylor likes to cut himself with pocket knives.
Literally every build, he has to cut himself at some point.
That one's sharp. You'll lose a finger.
Legitimately, I'm like, you can see me backing up every time he's slicing.
You will lose a finger with that one.
What we got here?
This is the camera retainer plate.
And this always needs to be replaced. And you'll notice there's fresh Loctite on those bolts that are on the floor. Boom. Sorry. Please replace this. Or don't, but don't let me buy it.
It's pretty easy to replace.
Bada bing. Bada boom. Voila.
I like to get my bolts started.
Make sure you don't have any hiccups.
Yeah. Just start them all so that way. God bless. I need to take my gloves off.
I get it. He had the assembly lube on though, so I'm gonna leave him alone on it.
I got a case of the drops today.
It's my problem because I always buy the really thick gloves because I get tired of them ripping, but then you can't feel anything. Somebody's at your house.
Stranger danger.
So we're already on top dead center. And Stephanie loves top dead center. How do we know?
Because there's a little knurl right
I don't know
there.
if you can see it, but it's there.
Kind of hard to see.
And you just hold that up.
And go bloop.
Yeah. Honestly, on the LS, they make this mindless.
They make it really simple. Your small block Chevys, it's a little bit harder.
This is great on here. Boom.
And it's done.
Just kidding.
Oh, that was not in camera.
Little thread lock. And it matches. Boom. I don't remember if you have to do this, but I know we do it.
It won't hurt.
Pull the other one out.
About dropped it again. Did you see that?
Dude, he is all about the bolts on the floor.
I got the drops today.
Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, so this is one of my favorite things to use. Wilkes Performance recommended it. This is a high pressure oil pump, so not high flow, but a high pressure. So it's plus 10 PSI from stock. It's the 10295 Melling. Love this thing. Great oil pressure.
There's no gasket, right?
Super good. Little Loctite. And boom. Voila. Front cover. That is not what it loves. Call my big. Taylor's not a musician.
Perfect. It's flash.
Did you know that drummers aren't musicians, Taylor?
I feel like you could get in trouble if you said that.
I said what I said. Cover. Ooh, I gotta scrape this whole thing. It's okay. Run a couple bolts down in there. And then throw your little RTV.
Trying to hide the ugly ones.
These are ARP bolts.
Whoever the guy is that's cleaning the bolts sucks at it.
I sprayed a little brake cleaner on them, sort of. Swirled it around. Touched it with the brush. It's a Ford.
This is, ooh, look at that. That could have been bad. Ooh, that is the leftover gasket.
The gasket sealer on that factory 02 engine was good though. To be fair, the rear main was not leaking on this motor. Somehow. Water pump, I cannot say the same thing.
Okie dokie.
Just a little dab on both sides. All right, we've got our new oil O pump in. The little seal, please replace that. This looks dirty, it's just used. It's clean. And then I cleaned this out really good too. And now we got it bolted back in. The, what is it, windage tray, I think they call it?
It is a windage tray.
Now, we're putting more RTV. And I know what you're thinking, you're like, man, that's a lot of RTV. Do a small block.
It's literally this is literally the only spot that on an LS motor that gets RTV.
Every spot on a small block Chevy gets RTV. We'd be getting the big can with a Cheez-It can. It sprays itself. So all four corners, and then new get. I really do like the blue. I think it looks nice. RTV is down, fresh gasket. Now we wait. All right, what's going on right here? I usually put them in the trays and then stick them down there.
Oh, that would have been a great idea. Never done that
Stand
before.
by.
So Tater learned something.
You shove these in here.
So I did it.
And you can do it either way.
I just shoved them in there, and then you have to basically hold your mouth right, get them to line up right.
Which it'll do it.
It will.
Eventually. This way you just shove them in here. And these are the LS7 style lifters from Summit. They're Pro line. Very affordable. Please get new trays.
Yeah. Get new trays.
You do soak these. There actually is some conspiracy on if you have to soak them or not. Josh Bickford told me to soak them. So they're soaked. And then come on.
There she goes.
Boom.
Just gotta hold your mouth right.
And then I got new bolts, and we'll torque them down.
Duramax goes on Monday morning.
You excited?
Yes, I'm ready to have my truck back.
I know you are. It's been like 3 weeks.
Yeah, well no, it's been
like 6 months.
It's been 6 months.
Since we went and got this motor, pretty much.
Yeah, it's happened in January.
I was gonna say, it wasn't long after we did this.
I don't want to force it.
I'm just gonna kind of encourage you, like a good parent. You better get your on that field and chase the ball. I did not drive 4 hours for you to go over 4 today with a $400 bag. You've already made 3 errors, and I'm done with it. Get your head out of here.
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm not again.
I know you're sorry. Sorry.
Stephanie's gonna listen to the
Straight push that one.
She's like, what the are y'all doing?
Parenting kids.
I'll be honest. I'm a little retarded.
Voila.
That is so much easier.
All right, you don't have to replace these, but I always lose them somehow.
If it goes to machine shop, they're gonna pull them out.
Yeah, they pull them out and then they lose them, and then yeah. Head dowels, just knock them in. Doesn't matter. I don't think you have to. Like, I don't think it matters if they're new.
No.
They just center you up. Somebody's getting into my new dead blow hammer.
Big fan.
Made in the USA too. Shocking.
USA.
Good job, Summit. We did just throw on the ICT Valley plate with no knock sensors, because now we're getting the multi-layer steel head gaskets ready to roll. I don't remember mine being blue on the 6.0.
It's all in good theme.
Honestly, I'm with it. Okay, here we go. Taylor says the heads are hot, man. Look at all them ponies. I've had them in the back of the truck all day. Oh, they are muy caliente. No bullshit.
No bullshit. It's not seated either.
It's so hot though. Okay. Is it in there?
Put it in there.
Let's get these ARP head bolts out. See if I ordered the right ones.
Because we have done that before that we didn't.
I feel better about it though, because I let the machine shop order them. I didn't tell him what to order. I was like, hey, look at that block. Order bolts. Stickers! All right. Look how strong Taylor is, guys. He's been working out.
Put gloves on.
Candy ass.
Says the guy that's just standing there.
Says the guy who's been putting the whole bottom end together all day. This guy shows up for the highlights.
I showed up for all the good stuff.
He showed up for all the woo Chinese.
Uh-oh. He stole one of your steam forks.
I got some.
You got those? Okay. Nice. Okay.
All right, finally got a hold of the right bolts. I had gotten small block Chevy 350 bolts. That's not going to work. So got the right ARP bolts here now. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started so we can get this thing in the Bronco. All right, so I got all the bolts snugged down. The only difference here in stock and ARP is there is a little bit different torque pattern in terms of foot-pounds. These are not torque to yield bolts, so these do have a certain pattern to go through. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. This thing's really coming together. Heads are all the way torqued down. We've got our rockers torqued down. I went ahead and installed the water pump, which I never have painted the water pump before, but I think it looks really good like this. You'll let me know what you think. Yeah, like I said, overall, I mean, for a stock motor, on a budget, I think this looks great. I have splurged on a couple things we've talked about, but really, this is a pretty budget-friendly rebuild. We'll go more into like overall dollars as we get to the end, where I can give you a more accurate number, but I mean, I don't know how you could do this any cheaper and have a better motor than what we've done. So whether you're putting it in a Bronco, a C10, whatever, this is definitely a helpful and hopefully encouraging to you that you guys can do this as well. When we started getting into the old cars of my own was really in 2020. Guys, I didn't know anything. I mean, nothing. I remember having to go over to Mat 1, and actually Mat 2 came as well, because I didn't even know how to adjust the idle on my carburetor. I had absolutely no idea about anything. I mean, I understood the overall picture of how things worked and, you know, being around it, but like I was not a gearhead. And I tell you this to hopefully encourage you. You don't have to know everything about this stuff to get into it or really start. Whether you just love old cars like Stephanie and I, or you know, you're crazy in the horsepower, that's just me. And then, or if you looking at this as just, hey, this is an economical way to build a car in today's time, where I don't have to spend 80 grand on a new car that, you know, you can't even work on if you wanted to. As a daily driver, and that's exactly what I plan to do with this Bronco. Obviously I have the Denali Lingenfelter Yukon, which I love, but I plan to drive this as my daily. Just bum around town. I should get some decent mileage, somewhere between 16 and 20 on 87 fuel. I mean, and in a truck, that's pretty solid. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I hope this encourages some of y'all that, like, you know, I don't know anything. Well, you know, you don't know anything till you do know something. So you just got to kind of get in there. There's a lot of really helpful tools, YouTube being one of them. But, you know, surround yourself with people who are knowledgeable. You know, I've learned so much from Josh. I wouldn't be in this garage building this motor right now if I wouldn't have learned from him. I wouldn't even know where to start, or nor would I have the guts to have done it. So, you know, there's so many people that are so willing to help. And you just kind of got to dive into it, sadly. I remember Mat 2 telling me that. He's like, dude, you gotta quit being scared to mess something up. And really, that's true. You've just got to dive into it and kind of go for it. So use your resources. You know, try to get out there and surround yourself with people, because guys love to help car guys. All right, guys. So this wraps up the 5.3 LS build. I'm super excited with how it came out, and the next step is to go ahead and get this thing linked up to the transmission, get it together, get the Bronco to the shop, and we're gonna get this thing installed. So y'all be sure to like, subscribe, share, tell your mama, tell her mama's mama, your friend's friend, and this is Baby Proof Rides.